Yeah, I had to make sure that the fan was not blowing onto my mic again. It's loud? This feels loud. Let me turn that down just a bit. I don't actually... Like, I had all my, like, spooky music set up for the past, like, 2 streams. And then once I got an MP3 player, I finally went and reorganized all my directories, and now the playlist, I just points to broken links. So I can't actually, like... I was just too lazy to run it, so I just ran completely normal Super Mario 64 music. I dig that intro screen so much. You have Radiant to blame for all those Vipers, actually. I stole the GIF from the background from, like, some Google result, and then I say Google, it's not like I even use Google. And then the dolphins from the arrow thing, and then the Vipers, like, that was like what Radiant threw together. Radiant, your fault, I'm having a good time. Oh, don't worry, it won't be very good very long. Once I, like, start coding, everyone knows how angry I get. I need to get angrier. Anyways, where's my list? I wanted to get mood system mostly, like the emotion engine. I copied over a lot of stuff from the Feywing prototype to just showcase, like, how the visual works on the handhelds. It's not much. It basically just reuses a bunch of animations from the original Feywing. Probably get tweaked over time. I don't know how long it's actually going to take until I get to the animation linking, though. Because, like, I had to get set up the mood system. And the mood system isn't even, like, I have vague direction on that. And then to block, motion. It was really rigid in the original. I didn't have any way to, like, blend between the two animations. It's just a state machine that snaps. And if it blended better, good. Talking is going to be hard. There's a way to, like, do a spectral analysis or whatever the hell with the audio bus. I had to, like, do a little research on that. I don't even know if I'm probably not gonna do that today, because the theory is I could, like, scan how much audio is going through that bus, and then I can make Feywing's mouth, like, between, like, loudest and not loudest. Go full in and implement a life system in Chow Garden. I almost said Cow Garden. Chow Garden, but with Feywings. Instant $1 million game idea. And these retro handhelds could probably handle an Animal Crossing game natively. Like one that's styled like the original. If you play, like, make a top-down Animal Forest, like, I think that would really be cool. I think you could add a little bit of Wi-Fi support, so you can suffer when the network code just fails. I've thought about this. It's possible, I think. It's just, it would take some work. Oh, I'd love that. Yeah, I see it being possible. It's just Animal Crossing, but with dragons. Probably the entire Dino Leaf, like, supply. Because, like, you know how Animal Crossing is basically a great big advertisement for other Nintendo properties? I probably treat it like that. We just have, like, some random designs. Maybe, like, 2 or 3 templates. So we have a bunch of different body types. 4 or 5, I don't know. There's, like, a couple ways you could do this. I don't know how I would do it, but it's also, like, a far-off concept. Like, this has been, like, just, oh, this would be cool if we do this sometime. But it's not going to be for a long time. It might be interesting as a network test. Like, maybe a self-host network thing. I think well, except for the part where you would just ace it. Like, you could very easily just connect to someone and then drop, like, a custom object that just has custom GD script, and the moment it spawns, it, like, steals your Bitcoin wallet. That would be so fun. Me and my partner talked about making an AC like and have a few concepts, but yeah, not gotten far into the idea. Excluding online, it's very doable. Like, you just... I could see how all the components would come together. For the most part, they are very isolated systems, with the exception of the social aspects. Like, you would have to Oh, so like AC Wild World. Yeah, I could see like that working. I could see like although I would present it like the original. I feel like Animal Crossing and Animal Forest are the comfiest Animal Crossings. It's the atmosphere, the weird electronic music. There's still a lot of bricked cartridges, bad seeds, objects from Wi-Fi mode floating around on eBay. Yeah, because you could just drop invalid items and it would just destroy towns, destroy quote-unquote acres. I don't know how the loading system works. I remember using a Game Shark code. I guess I should just open into this. I remember using a Game Shark code to like extend the length of your town. You could actually do this. You can like make your town go longer. It wasn't good because there were limitations to the extended land. I don't remember how it worked. Walking around in AC at 1 to 2 a.m. was some of my favorite times despite doing nothing just for the vibe. What was the music for that? Oh man, I should have like... I could just like... Where is... Just pull this up. I'm gonna store this here for a moment. I guess I'll... Shit, I can't just save it like that because that'll... huge drive. Do I have a playlists directory? Do I have a playlist directory? Audio. Playlists. Just drop this one here. Some of those songs were... Maybe there was like an ominous weight to them in its own way. Where is huge drive, audio, music, games, copyright protected company, Animal Crossing. Just how long? I don't even know how long this would be. It's probably like it's like oh, it's not even showing me how long this entire... Wait, if I select all? No, it's like an hour. This music's an hour. Letters were quite busted in Animal Crossing Wild World, especially in the Japanese version. Yeah. The hunter fella. He I like his stuff. He like just keeps going over the wacky stuff that those games could do. On GameCube, 1 and 2 a.m. were weird, but New Leaf, they were amazing. 3 a.m. GameCube, now that's good. Oh, I could turn these up now since it's so hard to hear this. I did like the original Animal Crossing the most, though, I'd say. I say original, but you know what I mean. That family of games, there's an atmosphere to it that I can't quite articulate. Where's the actual game scene? Here we go. Okay, now that I have the game scene. Is that the guy that documented, recreated N64 with unique AC? Yeah. That literally was like just the other day. I think he released that. It's yeah. He was doing a bunch of those recreations. He's been doing like a bunch of these like little Animal Crossing things. He injected Piplup because Animal Crossing format's weird. They actually save the data of the villagers to memory, like textures and all, which means you can actually just create your own villagers. I remember I opened up Animal Crossing Cityful on the Wii, and I was like revisiting it after like 10 years or something like that, and I saw a custom villager and I was like, wait, what? Because I had a cracked Wii at the time. And I had injected into the save file a custom villager. And I was like, is my game haunted for a second? I was like, what's going on here? Alright. Oh, look at that Feywing, hell yeah. Yeah, so Feywing is going to be bratty today. If all works out. This is the player route. I don't want to touch that right now. I may need to, like, store that into its own section soon later. So let me make sure like nothing's broken yet. That all still works. That still works. I was tempted to have like a little rat running across the screen. I noticed that the moment that the origin of a sprite like this billboard like gets off, like once the origin's off screen, it seems like the camera does some culling. I'm very early. I'm not sure. So that's generally where this is going. The lighting there is just because it's vertex, and it's this is just like a stretched out sequence of polygons. So that's like why there's that weird pattern to it. It would not happen in the final since we'll probably be using like properly tiled stuff. So here's the part where I have to like figure out what to do. I feel like I also associate Animal Crossing the original with 1 p.m. because you have that cat meow. One of these days I'll see like the fan dub of the anime movie. I've seen the original Japanese version, but I've never seen the fan dub. I have it in my archive somewhere. So for this, like last time I showed a bunch of script tricks I do to like modularize data, and I can do that to like have his mood influence various things. This is kind of like a soft state machine. Like I don't obey the state machine paradigm very much. But first I'm gonna have to like start breaking out mood. I need to like put custom emojis so I can have like a little, like you could stick the sniff mood emote. Scripts? Yeah. So we'll just start with the Fey mood. Like base? Center? Shit. Fuck. Curva. I actually have never been good with naming like the basics. I'm just gonna go with Fey mood for now. If I change it, well then I'll regret it later. As long as I don't have to save anything external, then all these should update. I'd love to play some more AC, either 64 or GameCube one day, as it seems like something I'd loved as a kid. Yeah. I liked Wild World a lot. I played a lot of Wild World, but I don't look back on any of them as fondly as I do the original. It's too bad nobody bothered with GameCube or Xbox back here in the day. I always forget that GameCube didn't sell well, apparently. It's so weird to imagine. I guess I ought to just start blocking this out. So, depending on mood, I can actually change how Feywing's behavior works by just having like some kind of simple behavior script. Maybe I'm gonna allocate a basic one just in case like there's none set in the inspector. What am I doing? Reset state. There's like a reset state thing? Oh, I might have to look into that one. Wildwood was good, but the frame rate was just so bad. I don't remember it very well. Yeah, you were lucky to spot 3 or 4 GameCube games on the store shelves here. That is insane. GameCube has the best atmosphere and best villagers for attitude. The dialogue list is still pretty small. It was so bizarre. Yo, RE4 nice. Mario Party 6. I also have to like have associated, like I guess I could say like, whoops. I could say like associated, how to say, animation ID or like expression ID. In theory, I can actually like have this match with stuff, and I could, like when we switch into a different mood, we can actually change the expressions on Feywing. I'm gonna have to set up that. That's what I'm gonna do later. But for here, I'm just gonna set up the Fey mood, just a basic one. What the hell? That's weird. Okay, there we go. Dot mood. I'm gonna start with just a neutral. Just some kind of basic thing here. And for Feywing's expressions, his default should be something like neutral, I believe. Like his eyes and his mouth, yeah, like so he has neutral, grin, anger, and surprise. Like those are the defaults he has. These are all the ones that were like directly put in. I just set this up as a dump state machine because that's like how I had this for like the prototype. You would just press a button and he would just cycle through the emotions. I'm gonna have to like change this later. All of this is just basically copy pasta, so I could in theory say like just give him defaults to and there and just say whatever. I do want him to have Fey mood, and just give him the default, so we always land there. And anytime we swap out the mood, we can do a bit of calls. We could even probably have them like each of these have their own little on entrance, on exits. Like I said, it's kind of a state machine, but not really. I don't feel right saying it's a state machine because I don't do state machines per se. Like, I violate everything I can possibly violate when it comes to design patterns these days. Fey mood, we dwarf fortress now. Is that a thing in Dwarf the Fortress? Funk. I guess when we... I'm not sure if we're going to be referring these from a direct list, or if these will be like pre-made, or if we dynamically generate them. We can actually dynamically generate moods. Because like behavior here is modular, in theory I could actually do code gen if I really, really wanted to for some reason. Or I can just have the scripts itself and do all sorts of weird things. First we mine, then we craft. I guess, and also I can like bring out, I can like link a mood namespace to Feywing, and we could just store this here for now. It's Fey mood, strange mode, and it's how they make artifacts, and if they don't manage to find what they need to make, they go insane. Don't dwarves go insane if they don't drink? Because I sure as fuck do feel like that a lot. Dun, 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 dun. Which one's this one? Oh, this is 5 a.m. I remember 1 a.m. 5 p.m. Is it 5 p.m. the one that like sounds like whoa? I want to say 8 p.m. 8 p.m. especially because I used to go to bed at 9 p.m. Like that was like my bedtime when I was really young. So 7 to 8 p.m. I think was usually what I would hear, like when either me or my stepdad were playing. Feywing, Senior Mood Specialist at I Know Leaf LLC. Sort of. Can drink water, but it doesn't make them happy, and eventually they'll get pissed and stuff. Oh, whoops, I want to move this up here. So I could store the move management, and I could just, like, pull some of that functionality out so I don't have it cluttering that. Change mood. Feywing. Feywing. Mood. Fey mood. Wee. And I could just start blocking that stuff out. You remember to drink water regularly. I had milk earlier, and then I had coffee, and I had the pizza. I haven't eaten, or no, I have eaten. What am I saying? I am actually in a healthy position right now. In theory, I should probably validate mood. I don't think I care that much because this isn't like Crop and Claw where I have to very much be aggressively defensive in order to make sure things don't break. Things break all the time. But oh man, 7 to 8 p.m. Those times tend to feel like out long. Okay, speaking of eating, my grandma just asked me like, "Have you eaten yet?" And I was like, "Yes, I actually have. Please don't make another good sandwich." You know, I didn't actually have the ice cream yet, though. That's fine. I can have ice cream after the stream when I've successfully programmed whatever I'm trying to do. And so, because it's like a... Right, so... I am gonna have to, like, also block out animation stuff, which means I'm gonna need, like... I do need to, like, get references... Export group. Actually, I don't even think I'm gonna export group. I don't think any of these are exportable. Because, like... Too bad, sandwich too. Too late here, it's a big sandwich. Everyone's sandwiching. It's 9 p.m. Definitely time for a big sandwich. Oh, it's 9 p.m. for you. That's right. I have to remember. It's like 3 o'clock is only 9 for you? Anytime I think like, oh, it's like 3, it's 4. I think it's like 36. I keep forgetting like Poland is not like 36 hours away from me. Animation tree. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab that reference now. Not anim player, anim tree. And this is going to be so awkward because I have to get a few different things. And then like I said, I'm also going to be changing how the actual animation trees are set up. Because this was all just thrown together. One thing I could do is I can have the pose of the grounding and not grounding. Like this stuff. Oh man, there's going to be so much bullshit trying to figure out how to do this. I don't like juggling states. I don't like juggling this mess. There's probably like better ways to handle complex animation blending and logic, but I still don't want to do any of it. I don't want. If the last thing I want to do is anything that involves effort. So let's start by pissing Feywing off. You know what I actually need to do? Hold on. New feature I actually need. No, I don't need it yet. I do at some point need to set up a captioning system. Because people, like me, can't understand what people are saying. So I have to, like, set up captions, but I'm just going to use print for now because I'm lazy. There's, like, a funny bug on the... There's, like, a funny issue with running these on the handhelds. I managed to take a screenshot of the bug earlier, but like I get this like wacky PS1 warping with textures when walking through the hall. I think it might be an issue with CSG. I'm not actually sure what's causing it, but it only seems to happen on like my SP. It doesn't seem to happen on x86, 64. So I am gonna have to deal with. I guess I could store this here. What's this? Oh, this is actually the animation controller. Anim controller. Fey anim controller. If we just prefix everything with Fey, I'm probably gonna be fine. Static funk. I'll deal with you later. I just want to like start templating out how I want this to work. Const nm. These are basically like commands I'm preparing. Oops. Fey nm controller. So anytime I access Fey root, I can just grab one of these commands and then I just feed in the main instance. Ouch. In theory, I can also do like... See, this is another fun thing with what I do, right? If I prep every command argument except for the Feywing itself, I can actually do like do command. I could like feed that in with all the prebinds, and I could do something like command.call self, like if cmd is valid, and then just not. Because this way, like anytime you do call, the argument's set at the start. And then if I wanted to like make it even more funny, I could do like array callable commands. Just make it plural. And then just like for each command callable in commands. And instead of return, we continue. And we can await, and that's like one way we can actually, in theory, we can actually lock the game if a certain set of commands should lock. So that's like fun ways I like to get around with some stuff. I may or may not ever need to do this. It depends on how I bind commands. Like, maybe I don't actually know where the Feywing instance is. Maybe only one thing is going to know where the Feywing instance is. And I could just say, hey, do these commands to Feywing, and then I can have this get called by that Feywing, and it'll automatically pass in the self. And so that way, it's like if I do change mood, I could just pass in by bind the mood context, and then I could, it'll implicitly call Feywing at the start. And that's like one way you can like do a command preparations. That's what I'm saying. Is like for once you get into first class functions and you get smart at like certain tricks like that, you can like write some really loose and weird code. And like then here at the game root, I could like have a Feywing that's like a global package of stuff. 8 a.m. I never really heard 8 a.m. for some reason. Also feels like that motif is lost. Maybe that's part of the mood of the original. You had some electronic MIDIs, and you had, like, this Animal Crossing theme. Do the new ones even use it? I don't really remember that motif getting used much anymore. Okay, how do I want to execute this? Fey mood management. We'll start here. Obviously, if we exit a mood, we'll handle that. When we enter a mood, might as well just notify it. I could, like, translate the mood ID. Oh, right. Well, yeah, translate has to be non-static, whatever. I'll just use this for now. And then in theory, actually, what I could do is I could func toString return ID. And if I want to do translations, I could just do it here. Yeah, I don't think the game uses the motif as much anymore, and each game sort of has its own motif now. Shame because GameCube is the best motif. What even is like the other motifs? I can't think of it. Why do I remember this one so well, though? I don't know. Feywing.mood. We'll write that here. In theory, I guess we could do like mood behavior.start. Or like enter. And now it's like actually the point where we have to like start looking at neutral mood. Here we go. And I'm not doing any safety checks right now. I'm just throwing things together. So I could say like mood. Fey mood rather. In theory, I could actually do not just Feywing moods, but I'm also just not doing that. Your although content changed mixed up, they only slightly play within the music themes. They don't stick out as well. Static funk, fuck you. Yeah, I kind of have a lot of those kind of functions sitting around. Feywing moot? Feywing root. There. Also, that should be start. And so now I've got the mood, I've got the Feywing. So I have some context as to who's going in here. Feywing mood. And like I said, I have to make sure that this actually exists so I can do like a safe prep call later, but for now I'm just setting this up. So I could do like, yep, we string now. Mood dot, should be like fine if I do it this way. Did I say start or enter? Oh, I said enter. I was going to do start. Exit. And this is like where someone says like, my god, just do like object programming, and I'm like, no. But this allows me to do like various controls, and I can pass in like defaults, or I can use like, hey, does this function exist on this script? I can say, oh, it doesn't. Now just fall back to this script. Just being able to reference scripts is kind of nice. I wish we could just like have specific children's scripts or whatever, but it's, again, like clearly I'm not supposed to be programming this way. I'm committing like war crimes. No more string. And then, like, say when we enter, I can change the facial expression. Because I could do, like, whoops, Feywing root anim, and then, like, I can, like, change the, get mood, set mood, yeah. So I can, like, do calls, and I can just treat these as commands. I can either call them immediately, or I can, like, compile them down into a list of commands and then save them later. Only a crime if you get caught. That's why I should be encrypting all my code. This one I remember hearing a lot, though. It's like I can kind of guess how often I played a game at a certain time based on like which songs feel the most familiar. 11, 12, 1, although I can't think of 12 off the top of my head. 2 a.m. is so weird. It's very short, but it makes me think of like honey and bees flying around, and also it's like fall. I don't know why. Don't ask me where this imagery is coming from. Unless Argel quickly learns coding, there's no senior dev is going to do a code review, so you're fine. This is you doing QA on my code right now, Crash. Yeah, specifically with AC, the hour music left me not hearing so many songs. Yeah, like 3 p.m. I also heard a lot, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. They must have been on the weekends. I remember like taking the action replay at one point and then just like messing around with AC with the action replay. Super Smash Bros. 2. I played so much Smash with the AR because you could access debug mode and screw around with it. Like the entire debug system is just left in the game. You're also fun, as I never worked in Godot before. So if anything, I can playtest and break the game. My coding experience is magical math shaders. Yeah, shaders are a hallucination, and it's like nigh impossible for me to figure out. Feywing Mood. Yep, okay. So like I'm gonna like start and like change mood. We could just cache our previous mood. Failing mood. It's gonna be like null or whatever, but who cares? I'm not worried about that. Actually, it's not gonna be null because like right now I have one set. I do need to like explicitly typecast this as screen. Oh yeah, you mentioned you're the math brain of Dino League. Essentially the FPU of the company, yeah. Because I can't do math. I literally cannot do math. This is the guy who says like, oh yeah, I want to do my own game engine in C sometime. Like just nice, lean, custom, build to anything, be very lightweight. Maybe like have a very customized toolkit so it's very good at making one type of game. Like just nice little custom RPG engine, fixed resolution, no bullshit like wacky stuff that everyone expects and wants in their games. I don't want to deal with any of that. Just nice fresh SDL. Custom scripting languages. Like all these things are like things I want to at least do. Like they're on my bucket list before I die. SDL3 funnily is not actually going to run native on the handhelds. At least not right now. Once the firmware is like all update to have SDL3, it should be. No worries, just wing it. Make it run on a 386 with a floating point unit. I could like write my own like fixed point system. Right. So I want to go to Feywing and I want them to actually boot into a first mode. So it's like now I've got mood, change mood, Feywing dot, whoops, self and mood. So I'll just change into the mood it's already in, just to kind of see it's initializing, and it's not initializing here. It's lying. It's wrong. I hate it. Fuck you. I could just do it this way though. That's fine. That should do it, because that way we're actually calling it off the script. What are you talking about? You're lying. I hate you. Fuck off. What are we doing here? Okay, I'm just gonna do the safely prep call. Utils, GD meta has bind. What was it? Safely prep call. Here we go. Mood dot behavior. Oh, that's why. It's because I'm a dumbass. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, funny story with 1 a.m. here, or 1 p.m. I remember it was high school. It was high school. No, junior high. It was junior high. And I remember, like, I had the like, really shitty copy of the Animal Crossing movie. I remember burning it with Nero to a DVD and bringing it to school, and we watched it. And I don't remember much about it. It was just kind of sitting in the background. We were all playing, like, Star Fox on the projector or whatever, because I also was teaching everyone how to emulate stuff. I was a cool kid that, like, knew how to make, like, Nintendo games run on PC in 2007. Like, 2006. Nero burning wrong. Now, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Yeah, I was surprised to see, like, how it seems to be kind of a meme nowadays. Like, or, like, for people who grew up in that generation, were, like, burning stuff. Safely prep call. Enter. Please no comma. Feywing Mood. I'm just gonna here. I'll set up a fallback script so in case there is an issue later. But yeah, like here I was actually an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. I'm actually the right person. What the hell? In theory that should whoops, no, I need to actually call that. What are you fucking talking about? Fuck off. What? Huh? Okay, well, first off, start command, and we'll just like type that. Await Start command dot call. Now why is this breaking? What? What are you talking about? You know what you are doing, asshole. Wait, huh? Is it over here? No, it's there. Why are we lying? Why are we lying? Save this real fast, maybe. Oh my god, shut up. Make unique. Save as. I'm just gonna say like default. What? Hold on. Right, this is what I meant to do. Make unique, right? So we make the script unique so I can just save it real fast. Feywing Mood. Let's go with like neutral. Held a message for a reason. Aggression. What are you talking about? Fuck off. This really takes me out of work at. There we go. Bonked by automod. Pensive. I don't even know what pensive emote looks like. Pyro really radiates the senior leave dead energy. Do I? You know, I kind of was at one point. In a weird way. When I was in college, it was like we were doing a finals class. There was like one class in our game dev sequence, which is you all get all the people from the different programs, the art program, the program, the design program. I was there for design, but I also knew a lot of programming. And like, yeah, you go through like a process. Everyone like picks their team leads, or like the teacher picks team leads based on like little quote unquote job interviews. And I did get put on charge of, I was going to do like project lead because I understand all the disciplines. I ended up in design lead, but it was fine because like someone else I know was also like, most of the people who were like the leads were people I knew. We were like, I guess like the cream of the crop or whatever. I was abnormal because like I was one of those people that knew all these different subjects, and that's like, you know, a kind of a unicorn. Because like when you have someone who can both program and do art, or program and do art and do design, and even just a minuscule bit of audio, and just all these things, you kind of just can work with that kind. You can like, you have the flexibility to do cross-discipline speaking. When you spend nearly a decade doing this stuff, you just feel such things. I don't even know how you could tell that. Granted, I was never in a lead position in any like studio. I've never worked at a studio. I've done like very minor contract work, and that's about it. What if we had one person who could do everything? That person will get nothing done unless they're like really good. Right. This script should be irrelevant now because I just copied it over. Okay, this is the script. Now, why are we fucking up? Can you not fuck up? Oh, wow, you work now. Why? That's so weird. I guess like in... Maybe it's because... maybe it's because you're just lying, actually. Yep, we neutral now. Okay, so we are entering the script now. Then we don't need to hire any was. That one can do all companies. I think I heard something. I don't remember if it was some like, YouTube video or if it was something. I don't remember where I remember hearing this, but like, it's the kind of thing where you see someone and they're like they're lazy and they automate their entire job through like their own knowledge and scripts and like all that stuff, and they're like, wow, we can just fire this guy because he basically made himself obsolete. And that works long enough that nothing changes, and then something changes, and then all the like scripts and toolkits you wrote are like irrelevant now, and it's like, oh, maybe that guy just existing and taking up space was actually important. Like maybe we shouldn't have fired him. Just a hunch, I guess. Like there's a number of soft skills a senior lead needs to have, not strictly technical. So I imagine leads are like tired as fuck. I assumed that's like how someone would be able to tell. Because they're always, like, fixing all the juniors' mistakes. And all the juniors that are using AI. Like, why does Copilot not work? And you look at it, and it's like... cool, you did, like, string copy with no buffer checks or something. And 2 weeks later, you have to rehire the guy because one of the lives updated me. Nothing works. Yeah. I don't really know all the dynamics, though, just because I, have managed to avoid not having to get too sucked into the dev sphere. What was I doing? This should not be a node. This should not be a node. Like, it doesn't matter, like, because I'm not instancing these, right? Like, I'm only actually calling static functions, so that's a nice thing with static scripts. You have the function references, but you don't actually have to, what's it called? You don't have to instance things. And the less you instance, the less RAM is being taken by instances, and the less, like, allocation stuff you do. Pyro, what isn't standard diffusion? Make good images for me, please fix this. Team is a great match. The sure paid me 3 times as much. Yeah, I always found this funny too, was, I say always, I was looking and I found that Lazy Foo, the guy who did those SDL library tutorials like thousands of years ago, he has like ones for SDL3, and it's like, yeah, you know, like, who didn't kind of get screwed over as much in the game dev sphere? People who understood low-level programming. And yeah, I kind of get that, because it's very easy for someone to learn an engine, at least at a rudimentary level. It's a lot more involved. Like, you have to be motivated to learn low-level stuff these days, because you have to, like, want to learn them. You have to, like, be like, oh, I get off to this for some reason. Whereas games, it's like you mostly want to see the cube move. If the cube is moving, that's enough for your brain chemicals for a while. That's, like, why I imagine, like, people who can actually work in, like, C or even, like, very controlled C++ are going to be a rarity at some point. And they're going to be stuck with Rust, and then, like, shit's going to go wrong with Rust, and then, like, it's going to be a disaster. So I have the ability to access mood now. And in theory, that means I can also change the mood by any kind of arbitrary command. I can have someone just launch, like, okay, we want to change Feywing's mood now. He, like, saw something he shouldn't, and then he's going to be angry. And then I can just, like, create, like, change mood, bind, and then, like, the target mood. And like I said, I can generate moods dynamically if I wanted to. But most part, it's probably going to be static. And then, like, a mood can carry, like, maybe associated voice clips or something. In fact, I should actually have voice clips as a thing. Or, like, something that, which is a sound which has a associated text snippet. Feywing evolved into Feelwing. That feel when Fey. Actually, I'm going to make this more generic. I'm going to make this like a... I'm not even going to put this in the modules. I'm going to have to make up something for this. Let's just call it data. Because I want this to be very generic. Splort.wav. Yeah, I could have splort, and then, like, it just says, like, in brackets for subtitles, splort. Voice. And the reason for this is just, like, this is actually how I did it in, the original Feywing as well. Where I just had, like, associated lines, and, I could either make it... There's a couple ways I could do this. Ways that might be a little weirder on the inspector, but also a little more convenient if I want them to randomly pick a line. Trying to think of how best to handle this. So I could say like clip. Audio stream. I need an ID of some kind, like a translation ID. And that's like, basically, if I want it to be localized, that is another thing I was thinking of earlier, is like, I'm probably gonna have to like split these into PCKs maybe, and dynamically load them based on what locale we're in. Technically, you can actually use like a built-in, oh, well, I can't show it because it's a different window, but Godot actually has very good localization tools. Like, Crash, if there's any reason why your next game should be in Godot, it's because of the localization tools. You could write things in Polish and in English and in Japanese and in Dutch and in Netherlandian and in Canadian and in German and in Klingon and Elvish. And you can kind of, as long as like all the UI elements work, you can actually just like change out files and everything. Crop and Claw 1 actually does this. Like, it's actually how censorship is handled in the NES version's graphics, where the English version will censor out a few things, like the pipe on the, what's it called? Wingdings, yes, like, you can have a locale that just uses wingdings for some reason. As long as the font supports it, I guess you could say. Or like, if you have a way to, like, map those texts. It's actually really powerful, though. But yeah, so in this case, I could say, like, okay, voice, I have a little voice clip container. And I can associate mood with lines. And there might be a way to, like, there may be ways to, like, sort of synchronize different moods to different lines. And all the clips had their own mood associations. That was like how his expression would change depending on what he was saying. And you just had multiple voice lines like playing in sequence. Voice clip. So I could say game, creatures, Feywing. Maybe I will need to like package this stuff out or like move it somewhere else. It's hard to really say where. So like I could say resource. Voice clip, was it? Oh, I didn't actually give it the namespace global. I could say like voice stream, that would be cool. But I can do like voice clip, there we go. Test dot voc voice. I guess I'll just stick to tres for now. Voice test dot tres. So I could like feed this up. So I can have test.wav. I can say Fey test text, which is like the translation ID. There's like also you can use you can actually use GNU's like text system, get text. That is better for like grammar and stuff. I'm too lazy to use it, but I imagine it's better if you're dealing with complex translations. I probably should be using it in Crop and Claw too. I'm too lazy. Instead, I actually do just some swapping out, and you kind of like rearrange text and stuff, but it's not great. And I can actually do like, to show how nice this stuff is. Let me like go in here. I can actually switch this out temporarily. So here's a spreadsheet. And you can actually just do like English. What is Poland's like Polish code? Like, what is the language code? Is it just PO? Is it PL? I think it'd be PL, right? I don't know why I think it's PL. Whoops. Oh god. So I'm gonna say like it's Fey test text. I could do like this. I could type fuck. PL, let's say. Okay. And for this, I could say like fuck is for English and it's kurva for the original Hungarian. I could just do local test.csv. So we just store it in CSV files, which is simple and brain dead. And for now, I could just temporarily store this. Like, I had a text assets. I have better places I could do this. And funny thing, Crop and Claw, like, allows for dynamically loading and unloading translations. Every time you enter a map, it will actually unload the previous map's associated translations, and then it loads in the new ones. So we could always keep RAM usage there, like, under control. It will not permanently grow and overwrite stuff. It'll like actually clean up the translation server. So I put that in, and I can go to game real fast. I could go to debug overlay just to show this working. Rich text, I could just have this, and Fey test text. If you only have specific text on here, then by default it'll auto translate. So I could do like this. Boom. I'm too lazy to change the size, but I run it and Fey test text. I fucked something up. What did I fuck up? Where's the auto translate? It should be auto translated, right? I know it does this. God, what am I doing wrong? Or maybe I just didn't actually like put in. Hold on, what did I actually type in the Excel? Oh, I just realized that window is still. Oops. Fey test text. Fey test text. Okay, it's just lying. Oops, the router done goofed. I have to like put this back on. There we go. Auto translate. It should auto translate. Why is it not auto translate? Oh, you know what it is? Because I don't have the actual thing loaded in. Globally, I'd load this in because it's fine. Whatever. Where is this? I think I stored it in data temporarily. Nope. Text, assets, text. Here we go. Asset text. We got local translations are generated when you load that in there. And yeah, now it says fuck. But if I go over here, I can change locale. Was it? It was somewhere here. It's like I could change test to Polish, and it will lie and make me look wrong. Why is it lying? Why are we lying? What did I do wrong? Why did I do wrong? It's lying. It's actually just trying to make me look dumb. What? Huh? Actually lied to. Locale text. PL. What are we... Why are we using English? Stop using English. Stop. Okay, I'm just gonna like change both of these. Maybe. Why does it localize there? I can't begin to figure out what that could mean. Bosniotsma. Yeah, probably butchering this so bad. I don't even know what like the phonetics are. But yeah, so that's like the localization tools for Godot. That's just using spreadsheets. Get text is more complicated, but I don't usually get it. Basically, local Feywing. So it's like spooky? Spooky Fey Dragon Wing Moth. But yeah, so that's how I would do subtitles. But yeah, it looks kind of neat. Yeah, it's really nice. I could see how to implement it too in other things. Because you just have to know how to like load. The only thing is you have to make sure you just like have the right lead formatted. Much better than default AGS approach. Yeah, I imagine AGS is kind of falling behind on that. But that's how a Bosnia is fair fable. I want to say Chuma. I don't know why I see like the C with the upwards diacritic marker, and I think Ch. I don't even think that's right, but it could be. Saying it's fall behind is pretty generous. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool that it runs on old stuff, but that code base must be a nightmare from how old it is, and I don't know how well battle tested it is. It seems like you get a lot of crashes. So, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how good the... It literally exports all strings to plain text file and expects you to type each translation to the next empty line. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Didn't you have to write your own for Zid or something? I think this topic's come up before. So now here's where things get a little weird. Expression ID should also be neutral. Yeah, I reworked it entirely in Zid, yeah. When you start having to like rewrite half the engine's features, it definitely does seem like it's time to reevaluate. Maybe they could just like take what you wrote, like just rewrite it in C++ and then just like make that a part of the engine. I only use it for system strings I have no access to. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we have mood. Here's the part I don't want to do, because I know it's going to change anyways. And I always have to remember how to do this by code. Let's start with the eyes, because the eyes should be very easy for me to be able to read when it changes. I'm going to make it so that anytime I press the funny L button, Zid just pulls an appropriate file for each translation. Each file is just similar to a JSON key to value structure. Yeah. That's another way to do it. So I'm going to stop doing that. Instead, I'm going to have change mood, Feywing. I'm going to like temporarily dynamically load in a new mood. And this mood's gonna like be angry, I guess. I have to like find my folder file hierarchy is already becoming a mess. So Fey mood, neutral. Let's create another mood and call it angry. I'm actually gonna keep this because I'm gonna be reusing code from it. But angry. Angry. And the code here is actually going to stay the same because I'm just testing stuff and I just dropped that in the dumbest way possible. Identifier Feywing array itself. Feywing is escape and full of angry. Uh-oh, you're making Feywing angry. Let me just make sure. Yep, we angry now. So yeah, we can see like the mood is changing as these angry trumpets start coming out while you're trying to hunt for Wisp at like 1 a.m. in the morning. 2 a.m. in the morning, sorry. So now I want it where the start call Feywing NM capitalized. Now I'm gonna go and change this out. Static func like NM ID. Change NM ID. I'm gonna change these function names anyways. They're only like bad stream names, so Feywing root Suri. So we start by getting the tree. Now here's the part where I have to remember how to like get the actual weird. Like I don't remember. I should probably like pull up the documentation on how animation trees work. At least in regards to like coding to interact with them. I want to say like I can grab, can I like just, I can't do that, right? No. Cause like, so was it this? Okay, that's progress. I don't know if it counts as a node or get something, get motion root node parent path. I'm just gonna look this up. I don't remember how this works. Actually, I could like animation tree. Tree root? Right, so maybe I actually want the root to this, and then I think the functions to get the children, like parameters and stuff, are like in there. Fuck. Well, we don't have access to the new function because it's preventing compilation, so. Mood management. Let's go with this, and let's comment this out just for a moment so I can. What? Cannot infer. Oh, fuck. Fine, we'll just stick to that for now. Okay, so I want neutral Feywing. I forgot to actually pass in mood.id. Wait, no, not ID, expression ID. Expression ID, string name. There we go. Okay. Acquire foliage. Do you know how it works? It occurred to me in a dream. Everything I do is a dream. Even in my waking life, I don't remember what. Just save that. Get that out of the way. Animation tree. Using animation tree. Give me the goods here, Godot. Scroll all the way to the bottom where you actually start talking about. God, what a weird ass system. So in a way, you're truly living the dream or a nightmare. Okay, so states? How do I access and like change states of the state machine? Okay. So like this is the state machine, I believe, right? So I could say tree. I basically get this. SMIs? Can I like typecast it to make sure it's correct? Like I think it would be like that. In theory then I could like do SMIs.travel. Well, no, we're not gonna autocorrect me, so I guess it's wrong and it's lying and I hate it and stupid and dumb and the worst thing ever. Playback, yeah. So is it not? What? Oh, it's playback. Animation, node, state, machine, playback. Let's just have the line get longer and longer. Right, so now we get travel to node. I don't know if these are internally nodes or resources or what the hell is going on with it. I mean, they gotta be resources. There's no reason to make these literal nodes. I think they're talking about nodes in the graph sense rather than like the Godot sense. Oh, that's a string name too. That's not a node name, so. So instead, I could say travel expression ID. If there's a wrong one, it'll just throw an error. Reset on teleport. I have no idea what that means. Now, this is not going to be a clean travel. It's going to like go through all the emotions just because of how I have the state machine set up. Assuming this works. So if I say... Okay, well now the button just doesn't want to do things. I guess I don't need fuck you anymore. Feywing model, animation tree. Let me make sure that I'm actually even accessing the breakpoint it here. Right. Well, that's normal. Okay, we are entering angry. The expression ID is angry. So in theory, change NMID. We pass this over here. Is there something I'm not understanding? Is there something that it's lying to me about? What the fuck? They use A star for this? I wonder if Godot actually has some built-in A star tools. That would make my life so much simpler than having to relearn how actually A star works. Current ID is angry. What if I am actually doing exactly what I said? Like, what if eyes, anger, that might be it, maybe? Like we're passing in a non-existent state? Alright, we can unbreakpoint it. Game. Yep. It's a little hard to see, but you can see... Switch to 3D and, like, free the cam. Yeah, you can see now he's actually pissed off. His mouth isn't because I only called it on the state machine for his thing, but... Seems like a thing they'd have. But yeah, so now we can see that Feywing's fucking pissed. And I could actually just reuse this, so that's nice. And in theory, I can actually do, like, recursive stuff, too. Like, I could make this, like, separate start and end pieces. And then I could do, like, oh, you know, there'll be the actual mood calls for specific things. And maybe if I want to have some scripts have some things defined, but not others, I can, like, do this cascading effect. Just have a list of GD scripts, and I could say, like, does this have it? Does this have it? Does this have it? Cascading behaviors would be bug prone, but it would be very nice for, like, having combinations of effects going on and, like, making him seem more complex than he actually is. And it allows for some very, like, fluid behavior, which would make it a lot easier than having to, like, deal with defaults. Like, maybe you go from one angry to another that overrides some behaviors but not others, and I'm still, like, putting all this together in my head, but I could see some interesting behaviors coming out of this. I don't think we're gonna go like a full VPET here, but I wanted a mood because I think giving Feywing a mood makes him harder to predict in game, and that's horrifying. Like, you already can't tell if this guy wants you fucking dead or not. Or, like, how he wants you dead. And then you've got other shit going on in here. You got a weird, like, proc-gen maze if we get that feature in. Which probably should, because that'll extend the lifespan. But the games don't need to be long. Like, horror games can be, like, $3 and really short. And it's, like, a good flip. Like, I think that's kind of a side hustle that some studios manage to do. I say studios, but like small stuff. That was another thing too. It's like, God, I need to like make sure we have more stuff that people throw money at it, which helps fund the more complex projects and things like that. Corrupted Claw 2 is going to take a little while. I think once 2 is done, then like 1 remake and 3 will go a lot faster, but 2 being the source of the Gorbash framework is definitely what takes the most time. I think Gorbash is approaching completion with like big air quotes around it. Enough that like the demo will be built. So I can also copy this code for the mouth. I'd need to do that. The mouth, I believe, obeys a similar structure. Pose, I'm gonna have to deal with something else. So yeah, so I can have it transition to anger. There's probably a way to jump it around. Gonna take a little while. Yeah, tell me more, LMAO. Like, I don't think I could ever do the full 2D animation. I say let's be honest. Like, that work would be put on Argel, and I'm not putting that kind of workload you guys deal with on Argel alone. And we don't have the money to, like, do anything fancier. I think the most we can do is, like, Game Boy Advanced cutscenes, right? We have cells, and you can, like, do flashy, like, 1-2 cell animations for, like, a shot. That's, like, the most I think we could do. Because it helps that the games, like, Crop and Claw, like, being so low res, it's mostly just sprite work that can get recycled a lot. And it leads a lot to the imagination. So, like, once that initial crunch of getting stuff made is done, like, Argel doesn't have to worry too much. That's why I've also been trying to, like, plan out things a little more in the back end. So we can just do a great big art crunch at some point for everything that we're going to need, or, like, 80 to 90% of what we're going to need. And then, like, once all that's just there, we have placeholders, everything, then, like, the rest of the game can just be made. And once all that's together, it'd be nice. Technically, you can get away with doing low FPS or keyframes only. In betweening, you... Yeah, it's definitely an 80-20 thing. In betweening... If you omit in betweening, you get Phoenix right. What was I doing? Animation tree. I think I want to try and see if I can also cache this. Like, I don't know if this is going to work. Feywing.smi's. I want to see... Can this work? Does OnReady have, like, this level of foresight? Right. Anim tree. If this works, that's... Oh, whoops. That's actually kind of cool. Okay, well, I don't know why... okay, I understand why. But yeah, okay. That's actually pretty nice. I can preemptively store chunks of the state machines. Mouth. Wait, was that mouth? Where was the mouth? Feywing, let me see your mouth. Oh, this, like, I think my wisdom tooth, like, got bit on. I think that's, like, why I have tooth pain right now. I think I might have eaten a chip wrong or something. Game is hard to look through. Game. Anim tree, there we go. Mouth. Okay, mouth is the state machine. In an ideal world, you just outsource all animations to an external studio and just call it a day. Some of it, at least. Obviously, you want to have the majority done in-house since you have control over everything. I imagine that's how the process works, though, right? Like, keyframes are done in-house or whatever. And then you just say, like, here, the audience takes off. And then, like, you get the animation back and the audience is, like, shooting into space. And then you just add a little, like, flying magical sound effect. Okay, so this is good. I have mouth access here. I can literally just... I could do something like just kind of compile these together as expression, change expression, just kind of an internal function. Feywing dot Feywing root expression ID string name. I don't think I actually need to do this, but it's funny. I don't even need that actually now. SM mouth. I could just change this name later. Man, I sure have been doing a lot of I can change these names later. I'm never going to change these names. It's never going to happen. So yeah, you could kind of see him shift into grin. And then he goes to angry. That's just because of the travel. I don't know if there's a way to just jump straight to a particular state. I would like... Can we... Play position is playing. Next, start. Start? What's start? What does that do? Wait, I could literally just press this. Yeah. Starts playing at the given animation. If reset is true. So if I do that, should I... Yeah! Okay, we just snapped to it, though. That's kind of not great. Laughing face, I feel that. I don't care. Gonna be future me's problem. Okay, yeah, so this is probably what I did with, I wouldn't be surprised this is what I did with Feywing. Is there a way I can, like, gradualize it? I suppose it's fine if right now I don't worry about it being blended into different expressions. It does it fine if you travel. It is fine if it doesn't do that right now. I would like it to eventually. Because then it'll look all nice and fun. But the fact we can just change expressions right away with moods and you can visually show it. Now the player has like feedback that like Feywing, you can kind of just see Feywing is like projecting his thoughts on his face. I think that's at least like at minimum very good. I should probably look at my to-do list and like start marking stuff off so I get that dopamine hit. Feywing face animation modes technically done. Sync mouth open closed by audio decibels. Not. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. Simplest way is just have an open and a close animation for the mouth. And then we just blend 0 to 1 based on decibels. Like, that's what I was thinking. Feywing animation modes. Yep, basically done at the same time. Feywing emotion system. Anim to block is true. Dark black hole switch. Okay, well, that's something else. Yeah, having expression shows does a lot for the mood, and it's more than just talking. Yeah, I definitely want to have the voicing work. Like, I definitely want to have it where we blend to talking, so it's like in sync with how much noise he's making. Because that was something I wanted to do in the first, and I couldn't get it to work. Not in the time frame I had. I didn't have time to sit down, learn buses, and like say like, okay, how much do we call this? It would have been nice, but it's effort. I'm gonna call this anim eyes and anim mouth. I don't like that it's stretching so long. I'm just gonna do that. You know what? If someone sees this and says that's ugly, they can complain to like HR or do something. I don't give a shit. Anim, change that to anim. Anim. But see now, the big change is just that This is so much better written than the original. Now that I can, like, chunk this code up and I don't have to use, like, subnodes or whatever, I just like to have the scripts and the behaviors kind of just isolated in their own way. And I know, like, what's going into them. It's just, this is nice. Player relation, ironically, is not related to player relation, as in, like, do you love the Feywing? It's just the physical positions. Change mood. Yeah. I'll have to see if there's a way to blend into a new state. If I can do that. I want to talk to your manager. Yo, what's up? Let's see if there's maybe a secret. If there's a next path by travel or auto advance, immediately transition. Okay. Get fading from node. This is all gets. Yeah, that's not gonna help. Huh? It's possible that any animation root node can be nodes as well as animations. Oh. Within a single state. I think I understand what it's saying, maybe. There's got to be a way to blend, though. I feel like there should be. Like, a way to just arbitrarily travel. You're doing it great. Keep it up. I cast glare. Well, Feywing can be pissed off, and that's good. And see, now I can make... Let me just, like... I can make, See, here's what's great, right? I can have his moods, and I can give the moods, like, say... Here's, like, 3 voice clips that might play when you interact with him, right? With no other context. And when that happens, I could call one of those clips. He'll say it. If his mood is changed, he'll say something angrier. If you, like, try to hand him a flower while he's pissed at you, he'll be like, what the fuck is your problem? What the fuck did you say about me, you little bitch? So, like, that's, like, why the mood modulation system and then, like, switching out the behaviors is interesting. I could have him just reject behaviors arbitrarily. I could, like, store this stuff into metadata so I can call it later on the object. There's so many funny little things I could do with this. I could also, like, write some of this stuff to global state so he can retrieve it later. Like in workram or something. I do need to be careful about voices, though, because I don't want to load everything at once. But I think audio streaming is from disk by default. So I don't think it will load everything into RAM if you just have the resources sitting around, but I'm not sure. Like, if I'm loading from disk, it should be fine. SD cards are a little slower, but I haven't... Like, usually the hitches come from when you first call a file and not, like, while it's streaming in. So let's see if I could do exactly what I've been talking about. I could have const speak preload. Fuck. I guess I would just go to voice here. Fayvoice.gd. Fayvoice. Fayvoy.gd. Static func speak. And now I can set up like a specific context for like, okay, I want him to say this line. And I can set up a global command which will like pass that voice clip into subtitles so that the UI can catch it and display like whatever subtitles are related to it, and it'll just stay as long as the voice clip is playing. So like Feywing dot What is the sound effect player for it? Okay, it's just voice. Let's like start cutting these down because I'm getting confused. On ready, there. SFX voice. Audio, player, playback. No, playthrough, that's fine. Equals voice. So I can have the stream set to, I need to pass in clip, voice clip, clip dot stream, clip dot, what did I call it? Oh, I guess I just call it clip again. I'll have to rename that later too. We can await until, well, actually we need a SFX voice. I should just maybe temporarily cache that. Because that way I could just not have to think about that. SFX dot finished. We await until that. This would also let me store the subtitles. I could like command, global command, like display subtitles with the context that is provided by clip, and then I can await, and then I can kill it. And if I want to lock the player, I can have a command before this that locks the player. I await this function until the sound is done playing, the subtitles kill, and then the following function can be like a global unlock player. So there's like a lot of different ways I can skin this lizard. Display subtitles. To do undisplay subtitles. But yeah, see just how I break up anything into static functions, and I can just kind of, I can just get my ADHD ass brain to not get confused by everything else and like just lost. So I could make it so his interact call. I think interaction is gonna happen elsewhere. Where's interaction? Oh, right. His interaction's actually in here, isn't it? Feywing dummy. I want to get target as Feywing, so Feywing equals target as Feywing root. And I could actually remove this now. And I could do, oh wait, Feywing root dot speak. Yep, Fey. And then I can, first I think one thing I can do actually, static func speak default. That's fine actually. Feywing root. I don't actually need to pass in a separate voice clip right now. But I can set that in the global state, and then I can retrieve it from there and be lazy again. Again, I'll use global state if I have to. There's just, if it will make it more complex to not do it, I will just submit and just do global state. Fuck you. But I try to avoid those kind of mutations, except for very specific, dedicated purposes. So I could say, Fey.mood, get shit, random lines, I guess. Let's go into Feywing Mood. Export var. Just get a, like, casual chatter? I don't know. Array, voice clip. And we can grab a random from this. I say we, but again, I'm the one doing all the work here. So var options, we can just immediately typecast that. And we'll, without safety checks at all, we'll just go voice clip equals options dot pick random result. There's only going to be one on each for this test, so I guess if he's in a decent mood, he will speak Fox's line. Oh, right, I need to actually create a second. Whoops, that's the raw data. Where is this? Show in file system. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna have to organize this so much better later. Voice test angry. Voice test angry, he will use this one. So this way he will have overridden default interaction lines. I don't know how many lines there's going to be for these. It's just arbitrary, so I can add as many or as few as I want. I'm still going to have to make sure that having like 17,000 lines loaded up is going to be a problem. Like I do have to like profile and make sure we're not loading too many audio clips. Mostly because I don't want it sitting around in RAM too much, especially when we only have about 700 megs of RAM to work with. And that's before factoring in all the visuals and the textures and everything. Change mode. And because of the system, I could probably set up context for certain lines to only occur in certain ways. I can have them inject the commands of saying from other sources and then play those. So I could like use lambdas to generate on the fly responses that would be very complex to program otherwise. That should all be correct. See, this is why I have to keep clearing out scripts, because I forget where I'm going. Angry. Interaction. I'm looking for the interaction. Right. Feywing dummy. Speak default target, or Fey rather. Let's see, this is like just like once I get around to it, I can actually put these into their own separate categories and refer to those. And this way, I could just keep linking up like these unrelated scripts of code instead of like having everything hard coded here. I had to do a lot of that kind of stuff for Crop and Claw 2. Crop and Claw 2's like modular scripting is a lot more complex than this. Let's see what broke. Okay, so he's not pissed yet. Now he's pissed. He should like use Fractal. Okay, well he broke something. Oh, because I forgot to actually put this in here, so he actually has 0 clips. This is why I was saying like I did not do any safety checking. Angry? Voice test angry. No, he should do the thing. Easy. And since they're random, it's like I can have them. Let me like write on subtitles real fast. Subtitles are not hard to make. I can make this a global command really easy. Feywing emotion system. I'm just gonna say subtitles. Pretty smooth flying, Fox. Get this guy off me. Maybe subtitles just be the last thing I throw in today, because that's just real quick. It's not as many animation implementations as I would have liked, but it's fine. I think it'd be fine. This is actually great because in the span of 3 programming sessions, about 10 hours, I've already got Feywing, like, 80% of the way to where he was in the original, except he doesn't teleport around and he doesn't function correctly in some ways with the... Like, Crash didn't get to see this. Hold on. So right now, his, like, rotation stuff looks like it's fine. But when he goes this axis, he just starts spinning because of how rotation math works. I hate math so much. Dude, math isn't even fucking real. Like, math lies. I want to go into the OpenGL. God, look at how evil the OpenGL image is, because you got, like, that window that just opens into, like, a fire hell scape. And there's just a tree blocking the way. So, let's go to game. For now, I'm going to store this in game root. I'm going to move this out later. Because I want Feywing to be able to use voice clips. I want Feywing's voice clips in general. Like, I say Feywing's voice clips, they're not even Feywing's. They can actually just be generic sound effects with an associated text. But for this, we'll just say game UI. Hey, Pi, can you not fall asleep like that? That's how I read the chat. We can go rich text, throw subtitles on the bottom. Blah, blah, blah. We go for limit breaks. I guess it should be center aligned. There we go. I kind of want to give it the default fonts and text that we have set up. UI? What do I call this? Assets UI theme. Oh yeah, I only have arrow theme and debug theme in here. Oh god, where do I stick this? Stick it here, right. There we go, that's fine. Ah, right, pixel perfect size there. There we go. Ow. That would not be comfortable to read. Oh, that's even worse. It's fine, it's all debug anyways. Blah, blah, blah. Game UI. Okay, so game root. I'm going to change this later, like I said, but for now, I want UI commands to just be here. Where are we? It's the game module. UI. Subtitles, like I said, are generic. I can do these commands anywhere. What was I doing? UI. UI commands. I'm just gonna say commands. I guess there will be game root UI because like game related stuff, like those UI commands might matter. But assuming I don't, like, few times do I really need to have an active line, to be quite honest. It kind of depends on like the specific context. Ideally, your UI can, like, your game should function without an UI. The UI is there as a control interface, or it's there as a scanner for what's happening in game. Ideally, nothing in the game world actually communicates directly with UI, and if it does, then you use it through commands like what I'm doing right here. Which means I'm probably a bad person for what I'm doing, but who cares? Static, func, show, subtitle. I can actually like piss people off by just typing subtitle. Cause like usually people are like, functions should be verbs, and sometimes I can be like, haha. how do I want to do this? I have to think about this. This is a case where sometimes I'll use singletons irresponsibly. Like, I'll do something like... No, I have to do this as a thing. Game UI. I'll treat this as, like, class name. Game UI. Static var instance. Game UI. This is actually a case where I might do this because... And yes, Crop and Claw does this at times. Crop and Claw 2 especially. Commands.gd. Is because sometimes I don't want to have to constantly provide the actual... Whatchamacallit? The, like, actual thing. I want to make commands as low effort as possible. I should be able to hand it to someone who has barely any idea how programming works, and they kind of figure it out. And if I can, like, make it generic terms, especially if I want to implement a domain-specific language, then I actually don't want to expose internal mechanisms. I actually want it to be so brain dead. That's me. So I could say, like, message, string name, maybe. Nah, just string is fine. I could do the translations at a higher level. So I could do, like, var out message equals translation. I need to actually translation server translate message, just in case we're actually getting a an untranslated stringamajigger. And then here I can go and I can do something like, God, I hate small dogs. Whoops. Here I can do something like irresponsibly just directly reference label subtitles. I could just do direct mutations like a bad person who loves to object-oriented programmingly. So I could do like game UI dot instance dot subtitle label dot text equals out message. And then I could say hide subtitle void. And see, this stuff is just brain dead. So it's just easy for someone who can kind of look at it and like, kind of get like the abstract idea of it. Singletons are kind of a no-no, but like I said, sometimes, especially when it's like a small game and you're just the only one really working on it, you can kind of lie. And like I said, if I were to make a domain-specific language for this game specifically and for certain aspects, I actually want to hide singletons. Or like make them very weirdly, limitedly accessible and like expose only certain functionality. Just to make the language as easy as possible to work with. So I could say like directly, I'm just like directly mutating stuff right now. So like, I might, for subtitle, I might show it like directly like this and then write text directly. You could replace that pass. And then hide subtitle, it's just, I know what it'll do. It'll just wipe everything clean. Just blank it out because why not? And now, in theory, I can do something like game root UI subtitle clip translation ID, and then autocorrect will just do whatever it wants. And then when it awaits the sound to finish, game root UI hide subtitle. And now I watch it break. Alright, what broke? Oh, it's because I No, it's because you're lying. You're actually just lying. What's wrong with you, you fucking asshole? I fucking hate you. Like, actually go to jail. So I'm gonna clean that, so I don't have to look at that. I could default to hiding you. What are you talking about? You don't have to. Why are you just pretending you don't have it? What's wrong with you? Subtitle label. Subtitle label. It's like right here. It's a fucking problem. Oh, it's because I'm a dumbass. Enter tree. Instance equals self. I'm a dumbass. That's why singletons suck. Animal Crossing. Sending speaking right there. Haha. Okay, and so that is the subtitles not working as intended. Game instance. Oh my god, I just turned the game instance, the game UI visible. I didn't actually turn the stupid dumb bullshit visible. Okay, we're in Poland still, so it just says Kurva. Very test text 2. So yeah, there we go. Subtitles. It took way too long when I was younger. Like 2 years ago now. Feywing started development about the end of July, the early August, so it was around 2 years ago. The original Feywing, at least. Obviously not this. This started about 4 days ago. Held a message for reason bullying. Allow will post it to chat. Irradiant rodent. Bulber curva. I don't even know what bulber means. Thank you for your feedback. You're welcome? Okay. But now, so we have different sounds. We have different, we can display subtitles arbitrarily. That's it. Like, that's the crux of emotions in this. All in about 2 hours, and that's including me talking about random bullshit. I think next time I want to get him so he can walk. Maybe just have him, depending on a mood or whatever, he'll just, like, walk around. So that way he can, maybe he's flying, maybe he's on the ground. And then maybe sometimes he just disappears. And he just leaves you alone, and then he'll just suddenly be back there and, like... It's a way to make you jump scared, right, too? Like, you just, like, turn around, he wasn't there a moment ago, and now he is, and just makes you freak out. I want to do stuff like that just to fuck with the player. Tuesday, right. It is Tuesday, too. So I need to actually make sure I don't stream too long and burn all my energy. I guess I suppose that's fine enough for today. I do love the idea he's not, like, attacking you so far, so just sort of messing with you. Yeah, it's very ambiguous. I'd say the ambiguity is, like, what makes him... If you call this mascot horror, making it so you're not really sure of the... Like, obviously there's the take of the monster is just, like, the thing that's chasing you. But then there's, like, if you have other monsters chasing you and you have something that's dubious helping you, and it's like, you don't know what to think. That was the case with the original Feywing, too. And, like, depending on what ending you get, I guess you can make your own calls. The best one is the one where you get turned into a Feywing, because then you don't have to pay taxes. Just kind of like hang around in a forest all day. But I suppose that's it. Like, I don't really need to do much more. I kind of got a little more than I wanted. I wish I could get the mouth flapping decibel stuff to work. I think I might just make some... I say animations. It's not really animations. I think I might just, might see if I just have a mouth open. Unless I could find a way to control the bone directly. Like, if I can control... Free cam. If I can control that mouth flap, like, just by jawbone and then everything else just follows with it, that would be good. Because then I could programmatically do it. But I think that'll do it for now. plus the music got back to midnight. So I could see... I should probably make an end screen at some point so it's not saying starting whenever I feel like it. I like dubious helpers because there's a lot of fun in making... in the idea of what they want, get out of you, get out of it, and that shaky trust makes some interesting moments. I think that coupled with Feywing having an internal like mood system, and there's an environment which he may or may not interact with depending on his mood. Things like that I think could lead to some interesting dynamics. And so like that's kind of like where I'm going. That on top of whatever kinds of weird shit chases you. Even in like tile-based movement, I think since like we don't have the like thrills and pressure of real-time movement where something might chase you, because that kind of thing will is its own kind of thrill. I'd say turn-based, you have to focus on the dread. Like when you weigh all your options and you like realize you may not have a way out and you might be fucked, and that kind of like shit settles in. That's like what I think this has to focus on. I think there's some like room for experimentation. You want to trust me, or you're luck with the raging behemoth? Yeah, just like have suddenly a 3D behemoth in here. I don't know what we're gonna do. It probably may just be furniture again, so we don't have to like deal with anything. Like just Argel doesn't have to like do any crazy animations. Maybe we'll find some way to like subvert expectations, but I don't know. Like this has been entirely like off the cuff. Just what if I just jam? What can I just jam out in like a week or something, and then like see if we can build it up without taking too much more time from Tropic Claw 2. Just enough to like make me feel like we might actually have like a little small game to just throw on and maybe get a buck from. Like the horror genre, it is like so used to like absolute garbage. Like the standards are so low. That's like the first thing a lot of game devs do, including us. Those more experimental in our case, but like it's so unrefined and weird that I guess we could maybe find some kind of little audience. Like I don't know. I guess we'll see. I didn't even ever put up my BRB. I have to like put up the BRB because that's where all our links are. Okay, there we go. Never know when a silly idea is gonna hit it off. Yeah, that's the thing too. Because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If I could make a game in like 2 weeks, a week, and then Argil can like slap in some assets once we have an idea of what the scope is. So it's like maybe a month or two of development, and then they're like, just put it on October, and it like gets like 500 sales or whatever. Cool. If I don't put up anything, I get 0 sales. Yeah, sadly, and they all miss the uneasy and just aim for scream. Yeah, tension build up. Like there's gonna have to be a lot of atmosphere focus here too. Because the short playtime, it's like I think we can get away with some proc gen as long as the player's not playing it too much. Any of these games, like the player plays it too much, it's gonna lose the effect because you start picking up on patterns. And I think that's where randomizing comes into play a lot, especially with enemy behaviors. If it's not clear, like even if you know how a monster works and you have like, or you like know how Feywing's mood works, when there's random variables at play and you can't predict it, we at least have a large library for sounds element. Yeah. There is still sound design. You have to set up everything a certain way and you have to get everything sounding right. But yeah, when it comes to sound library itself, we're good with that. But yeah, we have to set up a lot of tension, and randomizing values allows us to make it so even if you know like how to play everything optimally, the randomness is enough to make you pause and go, what if I get the bad roll? Am I just fucked? And if it's a short playtime and you just get like really, really unlucky and just fuck up and die, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Like, I don't really do a lot of mascot horror or like horror games or whatever. I probably have seen more YouTubes than I have played games like these. So I don't really know all the tropes aside from what I've seen play-wise, but I also don't like care too much. I think as long as we just focus on like core horror concepts like tension and release and like the fear of the unknown or the fear of the uncertain, I think as long as we focus on core aspects and not get too wrapped up in the weeds, and we have the funny Feywing here that is like used as a selling point, I think we can kind of give Feywing proper justice. Because the first game was so fucking bad and it was just us trying to figure out how to do things. Alright, well I'm gonna disengage now. I gotta rest my voice and do whatever the hell is coming up next. Probably catch up on some of their stuff. Alright, and I have to move these over to the RG handhelds and check performance. Most of the horror games I've seen lately are menial labor followed by a chase scene. Yeah. Feywing, the root of Feywing was like based on ritual pastas. Like, you go here, you do a thing that's probably horrible and life-threatening, will damn your soul for eternity, but you might get a cool perk out of it. Like, the ability to navigate was like supposed to be the thing with that, because that game requires a lot of navigation skills, better than I have and better than most people have. That, and the game is just so buggy you don't even know. I have no idea how anyone figures that thing out. But yeah, I see some of the core elements are here, and it hasn't taken me too long to program what I've done. Refining some of the 3D shit, and then like maybe figuring out how we want to do like routing stuff around, because I'm probably gonna have to learn A-star pathfinding, or look at tools that might be in there. You might want a compass UI for this too, probably. Yeah, the best are the ones that set up as atmosphere, then they kind of spoil it. Yeah, I have no idea how we're gonna pull this one off. I see the elements are here and in place. I just don't know how they'll all go about. Alright, but I'm gonna kill the stream before it gets too much longer. I don't know when my next one will be, or like how I'll approach the next ones. What's today? Today's the 4th. Didn't really do anything yesterday. I just was gonna do something and I got tired. I'm always tired. I wish I had vodka. Time to... This is not dancing to the music. Well, so far so good. Thanks.